Hi, I am Fred from the requirementsengineer.com. In this video, I show you how to embed a Draw.io diagram with a SVG tag. You will learn the exact workflow in Draw.io, and you will learn what the most important SVG embed settings mean. If you like practical tutorials about modeling and requirements engineering, please subscribe and hit the bell so you do not miss the next videos. What is Draw.io? Draw.io, also known as diagrams.net, is a flexible diagramming tool. I use it for flowcharts, network diagrams, UML models, and many other visuals. It is easy to start with. However, it also offers useful export and embed options for professional work. One of these options is SVG embedding. Why use SVG? SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphic. This means the diagram stays sharp even when I zoom in. So SVG is perfect for websites, documentation, and tutorials. It looks clean, it scales well, and it usually keeps the file lightweight. What is an HTML SVG tag in Draw.io? The HTML SVG tag lets me place vector graphics directly into a web page. Unlike PNG or JPEG, SVG is not just a flat bitmap image. Instead, it is based on structured vector data. That is why it stays crisp on small screens and large screens. This is useful when I want professional-looking diagrams in an article, a documentation page, or a knowledge base article. Let us get in. Step 1. I open my diagram in Draw.io. In this example, I already have a diagram open. This can be in the Draw.io browser version or the desktop app. I use the desktop app here. However, the workflow looks very similar in both versions. Step 2. In the menu, I click File. Now the File menu opens. Then I go to Embed, and from there I choose SVG. Now Draw.io opens the SVG embed dialog. This is where I define how the embedded result should behave. Thus, in step 3, I choose the configuration I need. Here I can see several options. Let me explain the ones clearly. Fit. Fit helps the diagram adapt better to the available space. So this option is useful when I want the embedded SVG to sit nicely inside my page layout. Shadow adds a visual shadow effect to the diagram. This can make the diagram stand out a bit more from the background. I would use this only when it matches the style of the website. Image. This option affects how the content is embedded inside the SVG output. In practice, I look at this carefully when I want a simpler embedded result. Lightbox. Lightbox adds an interactive preview behavior. So when a user clicks the embedded diagram, it can open in a larger view. This is very useful when the diagram contains many details. Lightbox Edit. Here I can define what kind of action is available in the Lightbox. For example, I may allow an option like make a copy, or I can input a custom URL. This can be very helpful when I want other people to reuse the diagram structure. Finally, Lightbox Layers. This enables layer-related behavior in the embedded output. So if I work with layers in my diagram, this option can become very useful. In short, I do not just click through this dialog blindly. Instead, I choose the settings based on my case. Do I want a simple visual? Do I want an interactive preview? Do I want layer support? That is the real decision here. Now step 4. After I choose my settings, I click Embed. Now Draw.io generates the code for me automatically. Step 5. I copy the generated code. This is the important part. Draw.io now gives me the SVG embed code snippet. I click copy. And now the code is in my clipboard. So I do not need to write the SVG code manually. Draw.io prepares it for me. Step 6. I use the code where I need it. For example, I can paste it into an HTML file. I can paste it into a custom code block, or I can place it inside a web page template depending on my setup. So the workflow is simple. I generate the code in Draw.io, then I place that code into my website or project. For a quick and easy demonstration, I'll insert the SVG tag into the WordPress editor. You can also do this with an HTML file in your code editor. After inserting the SVG tag, I can view the finished result. When should I use this method? I use this method when I want my diagram to stay sharp and professional on a web page. This is especially helpful for requirements engineering, technical documentation, process descriptions, and system overviews. For example, if I publish a Venn diagram in an article, SVG embedding gives me a cleaner result than a normal bitmap image. Readers can view the diagram more clearly, and the page still looks professional. So this is how I embed a Draw.io diagram with a SVG tag. Open your diagram, click File, click Embed, choose SVG. Configure options like Fit, Shadow, Image, Lightbox, Lightbox Edit, and Lightbox Layers. Click Embed. Copy the generated code and paste the code where you want to use it. If this video helped, support the channel and like it. and subscribe for more Draw.io tutorials. Also tell me in the comments, do you use SVG mainly for sharper visuals, for scalability, or for interactive embedding? Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.